My next unpopular opinion, and I would like to go on record to say this, is that I think that Kathy Stein is a baby-stealing goblin. What? Hi Sparkles, it's Jordan Sparks. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I figured that I would do an unpopular Dance Moms opinions video because you guys keep asking me to do one. But instead of reacting to somebody else's video, I decided to just share my own Dance Moms opinions that are unpopular, I think. So I think that these are original. I didn't really watch any other videos or take any inspiration from other videos, so hopefully this will be some fresh, new, exciting content for you guys and be different from any other unpopular opinions videos that you have watched. Because, just so you guys know, if you guys weren't well aware yet from my previous videos, I am not just a dance coach, but I'm also a giant Dance Mom stan, and I've seen every single episode, so I have some bold opinions. But before we hop into this video, I also have a Dance Moms opinions video on the moms coming and the Dance Moms opinions video on all of the girls coming. So if you're interested in those and you don't want to miss out, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so that you actually get a notification when I post those new videos. And also later this week, I have a Dot to Dance video coming for you guys. I have got this enormous sized Dot to Dance that Susie sent me from Dazzle Distributors. Thank you so much, Susie. And I'm going to be doing an unboxing and trying it out and putting that to the test. So I'm going to give you guys the first impressions of that video. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe to my channel and stick around. That should be up later this week. So I was going to make this a get ready with me video and do like a full face of makeup. And then I was like, wait, I don't actually want to put on a full face of makeup today. And so alas, I didn't. And you see, kids, that's the beauty of not being a beauty guru. You see what I did there? Is that I don't have to wear makeup when I don't feel like it. So let's hop into these opinions. So I wrote some notes down in my handy dandy notebook. Right. If you know what I was referencing, let me know in the comments. If you don't know, you don't know. Give this video a thumbs up if you are excited. So my first unpopular opinion is at the very beginning of Dance Moms, Chloe was actually the best technical dancer on the team, and Maddie was not the best technical dancer on the team. And then Brooke was actually my favorite dancer on the team at the very beginning, but just my opinion. But in the very beginning, I think that Chloe had the better technique. Is that a surprise? No, because she was like a year and a half, I believe, older than Maddie. But yeah, I don't think that Maddie was the best dancer from the beginning. My second unpopular opinion is that the best time that Kendall actually went on stage and performed technically was My Name in Lights, which I believe was her season 4 or season 5 national solo, and that solo came in 9th, and I was literally baffled. Like, there must have been some tight competition at that competition, or she must have like totally flubbed up in the actual solo that was adjudicated, because you know they filmed twice. But I'm like, how did that come in 9th? That being said, I feel like I saw a decline from Kendall for a while after that, so I feel like it probably really cut her self-esteem to get a solo at nationals and to go out there, and she probably felt like, oh my god, I did so amazing, that's like the best I've ever danced, and then to come in 9th place, that would suck. So I feel like that was a huge letdown. I think it's probably just that it wasn't winning choreography, but that was the best that I've ever seen Kendall dance. I feel like the best that Kendall's turns technically ever were was way back in season 2 when she did that Voodoo solo, or Voodoo You, and it was her national solo for season 2. Another solo that I think that Kendall did amazing in was called Just Rain, and I believe that was season 4, and she won the Technique Award for that day, I believe, but that was a beautiful solo, and I think that she really like emoted in that solo, which she doesn't usually let go, so I thought that was perfect. My next unpopular opinion is that Kathy and Jeanette actually had better technical dancers for the most part than the entire ALDC Junior Elite team and Select team. Like, they had Casey Rice at one point, they had Zach, they had Gino, they had the Morales twins. Like, they were totally stacked. They had amazing technical dancers. It's just that they didn't have that chemistry of being a solid group, and maybe because some of the competitions were rigged. Were they contortion acrobats? No, that's what Abby is looking for, so that's what usually Abby is looking for hyper-mobile contortionistic acrobats, and Kathy and Jeanette just had like really good ballet technical dancers in their groups a lot of the time, and I just don't know why they didn't pull more wins than they did. My next unpopular opinion is that Dance Moms did absolutely no favors for Kalani or Bryn's dance careers. Like, just to put this into perspective, before Dance Moms, Kalani and Bryn were like cream of the crop, best technical dancers in their age categories. Like, we just saw Ryer Nolay performing on World of Dance. If Kalani and Bryn didn't go on Dance Moms, they probably would have been on like World of Dance this season. That being said, the part two to that is that I think that Dance Moms also skyrocketed their social media careers. So they might not be going on and having a great reputation in the dance world unless they literally go out there and retrain and put their best foot forward. And I know that the girls are both dancing again, so that's great, but like it's like they always say, you're only as good as your last performance. But for social media, they now have massive platforms, so they don't even need to be dancers if they don't want to. They could just go on with YouTube, they could go on and sell their flat tummy tea or whatever they want to do on Instagram, and they could be successful that way, make a living that way if they want to. But in general, I thought that Dance Moms took two amazing, incredible, cream of the crop, like in their best peak performance ability dancers, Kalani and Bryn, and then week after week you got to see what having no training does to two dancers that were incredible because they trained every day, and now they have great choreography on stage, but they're not training. So I don't think that that did any favors for their dance reputation. No offense to Kalani or Bryn, I feel like their parents would probably agree that that's what happened on Dance Moms as well. That's why they were so frustrated. It is because their kids weren't getting training, and they came to ALDC to further their dance careers, not to ruin their reputation. My next unpopular opinion, hi Holly, is that Holly can pretend to be the most compassionate, but I can find her to be the most righteous and annoying mom on the team because she puts herself on a moral pedestal. So as much as I want to agree with everything Holly says, and 98% of the time I do, if Holly is being stubborn, like once Holly has made up her mind, there is no arguing. Like Holly's opinion is the law. There is no having a rational conversation with her. It's, if you don't agree with my opinion, then I'm gonna get up and leave. So in that way, I kind of found her very righteous and annoying, but in general, 98% of the time, I do agree with her. Which leads me into the next unpopular opinion, is that I think Holly and Christy were the best moms on the team. Because like I said, I agreed with Holly 98% of the time, and I think that she was raising her child to speak up for herself, to be a leader, to be confident, and I think that Christy may be a psycho savage from time to time, but she literally was the one that was ballsy enough to leave the team, take her daughter and leave the team, because she's like, this is not healthy for my child. I'm not going to keep her in this environment just for fame. Like, girl, bye. So people can call Chloe and Christy fame whores all they want, but like for that, I will always have respect. Like, put your mental health first. That's it. My next unpopular opinion is that I never agree when Abby is rude to the children, because I don't think you should ever be rude to the children. But whenever Abby is calling out the moms, it's literally things that I'm like, well, I'm not gonna say it, but somebody's gotta say it. Like, when they barge into the studio where they tell her to give their kid a solo, or like what costume to wear and all that stuff, like, this is a business, and you are here for my service as a dance studio owner and to be on this competition team or on Dance Moms on this TV show. If you didn't want to be here, then you can leave. There is a whole lineup of thousands of other kids that would love this opportunity, so stop acting so privileged and entitled. I'm sure none of the moms want to hear that, but that's the truth. What makes you so entitled just because you're on the team currently? There's literally thousands of people that want this opportunity, so if you don't want to wear, for example, a costume that has pieces of trash on it, well, thousands of other children do. So move along. Everyone's replaceable. My next unpopular opinion is about the moms and like telling their kids, oh my god, you're wonderful, you're fabulous, you're amazing. Like, please do. Tell your kids that they're amazing and fabulous until the cows come home. If you tell your kids that they're amazing and fabulous and wonderful all the time, they're going to have high self-esteem. They're going to be confident. That's great. They're going to feel good about themselves. That's wonderful. That's your job as a mom. What I do have a problem with is when the moms are like, oh, don't listen to Abby when she said that you need to stretch your ankles and point your feet and turn out. Like, your turnout is fabulous. Like, your feet look great. You're amazing. Like, no, don't go out there and tell your kid, don't tell your kid not to listen to their coach. Why are you even there? Why are you bringing your kid to the studio? Why are you bringing your kid to me to be coached if you're not going to listen to my coaching? Like, get out. That to me just tells me that you're here for just the fame and just the opportunity, and that is it. And I don't like people like that. See, that's what I think is the major difference between Jill and Holly, is that Jill will be like, Kendall, don't listen to her, you're fabulous, you're wonderful, and then you get a kid that doesn't listen to their coaches, and then Holly is like, don't listen to the negative stuff that she says about you personally that doesn't pertain to your dance training, but you better listen to her when she says to stretch your ankles and point your feet and to do your work. And so as a result, you get a kid that knows her worth, she is confident, she knows who she is, and she also listens to her coach and trains hard. Okay, my next unpopular opinion is that I think that the ALDC provides excellent dance training, even up in comparison to studios like Club Dance, because everybody likes to throw around in the comments that club dancers are so much better and blah 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 blah. Okay, so I think this is nonsense. How many times have we heard Abby say, I have this many working dancers, this many working dancers, this many working dancers? The thing is, the dancers that were on the show, as we even saw with dancers from Club Dance, it's not that they were dancing at ALDC, it's that they were on Dance Moms. They were filming a TV show like 40 hours a week. They were going to competition back to back to back to back to back while filming a TV show, while doing red carpets, while doing interviews, while doing press junkets, all of that stuff. If you're at Club Dance Studio, you get to train every single day. If you're an actual ALDC student, you get to train every single day. You can take as many privates as you want. If your kid is homeschooled, they can take class all day long with as many different instructors as you want. Like, do your thing, honey. But when we're comparing apples to apples, if you wanted to take some identical twins and put one in Club Dance and one in ALDC, and they're going to train for 40 hours a week to be professional dancers, you're going to get two incredible performers. They're going to be different, but they're going to be incredible. But the difference here is that we see the girls that went on national television and are working in the industry. They're not training 40 hours a week. They're not actually training intensely. They're just learning new choreography every single week. And that's what's making the ALDC not look like they are comparable technically to a club dancer. But in reality, I would say that if you got rid of Dance Moms and took the show out of the picture, that the ALDC dancers would definitely be on the same level as club dancers. My next unpopular opinion is that excluding kids that are still on the show, I think that Maddie was the only girl that didn't peak dance-wise on Dance Moms. And I think that she was amazing. She did amazing performances on Dance Moms. But what I'm trying to say is I feel like she's the only dancer that went on and left Dance Moms and became even better than she was on the show, where all of the rest of the dancers got worse. Like, as soon as Chloe left the show, she stopped training as intensely, Nia stopped training as intensely, Kalani stopped training as intensely. Brandon is dancing again, but she doesn't train like she did back when she was starting at the ALDC. Mackenzie went and did Dancing with the Stars, but she definitely couldn't go on stage and do one of her acro gymnastic solos that she did in season 6 now, whereas I think that Maddie is a better dancer now than she was while she was on the show. My next unpopular opinion is that I think that every single dancer that was on the Junior Elite team could still work professionally. You heard me. Every single dancer, including Brooke and Paige. And you might be like, what? They haven't been dancing for like 6 years. But here's the scoop. I started dancing at 19 and was working professionally within like 5 years. So if Paige were to start training again, if Brooke were to start training again, like, I think that they could probably be working professionally in like 6 months if they really wanted to, especially having like a giant platform and millions of fans that are like, please dance again, we just want to see you dance. Like, even if it just meant like hiring a choreographer and filming a professional dance video after training for a few months, they could be right back in the game. The next unpopular opinion is that I don't think Maddie was ever the best technical dancer on the team at any point during the show, except for maybe like an episode or two. The reason why I say this is because in the very beginning, I think that Chloe was a better technical dancer than Maddie. And then Maddie progressed to a point where she was better than everybody that was on the original team, technically. But by then, Abby was bringing on Sophia Lucia for a few weeks at a time, then she had Kalani, and then she had all of the select team, and all of these other amazing technical dancers were always on the team. So there was always somebody strategically placed on the team, obviously, to make Maddie better. There was always somebody there to challenge her, but she was never the best technical, other than for a few episodes at a time when they didn't have another technical ringer brought onto the team or the select team. My next unpopular opinion is that Vivienne Stein is totally underrated. And the reason I say this is because she's not like the best technical dancer to ever grace the stage, but I feel like she gets ripped apart on the internet. It's like, this is the worst dancer, like, oh my god, this is a joke, like, why was she even on the show? But if you compare Vivi to your average dancer, like, you have to keep in mind, what we see on TV is like the top less than 1% of the dancers in the entire world. We're watching dancers that are on Dance Moms, World of Dance, So You Think You Can Dance Kids. Like, these are the cream of the crop dancers, and I think that Vivienne has worked her tail off to become the dancer that she is today, and she might not be one of the 1% of the best dancers in the country, but I think that she's a great dancer and she can hold her own. So my next unpopular opinion is that I actually think that not only will Mackenzie end up overshadowing and becoming more popular than Maddie, but I think that Mackenzie is going to be the most popular one from the entire show. So the reason why I say this is because Mackenzie has literally had the advantage of being on screen and working in show business, being around cameras, crew, interviews, being on national television since she was like 5 years old, so she doesn't have stage fright. Girls' self-esteem is good. She's a humble girl. She has humility. She's even said that. She's made it very clear herself that she doesn't put herself high on a pedestal. So that's relatable. That's likable. People love Mackenzie. She didn't stand out as like the best one on the show because she didn't have the opportunity or the advantage to train technically for years and years and years. She was just kind of thrown on national television and was like, here you go, kid, be a professional dancer, be the best dancer in the United States on this international platform, and go. So she really just kind of was literally, as Abby said, born into the ALDC. She literally didn't have a choice. But that being said, she has the vocal training now, she has the music, she has the stage training, she's been on TV, she's been on Disney Channel, she has credentials, she's got the resume, she's got the training, she has the humility. I think that she could be an international sensation. Like, she could go on and make a name for herself as a actual musician, recording artist, pop star, whatever you want to call it. But Mackenzie has the training, she has the resume. If she puts in the work and continues to do like she's been doing, she will be able to have a sustainable long-term career, and I think that she will surpass Maddie, because Maddie can't sing. She dances beautifully, but the honest truth is, as a singer, you have much more of an impact than a dancer can ever have, because as a dancer, your impact can only go as far as face-to-face, anything visual, whereas a singer, you can have their song stuck in your head, you can hear the singer on the radio while you're driving. Like, the impact of songs and music has a further reach than anything visual. So for that reason, a singer can become more successful. This is why pop stars, for example, always have like 100 million subscribers on Instagram, and people that you see on TV and movies usually don't have that many. Like, the most famous people have like 50 million usually. And this is just like throwing out numbers, but like, for example, if you compare somebody like Zac Efron, who you think is extremely famous, to somebody like Justin Bieber, there's no comparison. Justin Bieber has a way bigger platform. Nia also has the training, the resume, the credentials. She's working it hard on that soap opera these days, but look out, because I bet you Nia will have a super successful music career as well. My next unpopular opinion is I think that it was actually the people that slipped under the radar that are going to have the best careers dance-wise. And the reason why I say this is because I think that everybody that became super popular on the show kind of threw in the towel when it comes to professional dancing. And that's kind of what always happens when people get like, are blinded by the light of Hollywood, so to speak, is that once you have all of this fame and you realize that you're going to have all these opportunities and these sponsorships to sell flat tummy tea and do Instagram posts and stuff without dancing, without working hard, that you're still going to have this fame and admiration and everybody's going to love you, and all you're going to have to do is talk about flat tummy tea, all you're going to have to do is sell Sugar Bear hair vitamins. Like, because of that reason and that reason alone, in 2019, I feel like most of the dancers that were on the show that are super famous now aren't going to pursue a career as dancers. Some of them might be like, oh, ooh, I should probably get to work and put those dancing skills to good use and put that training to good use if I want to have a sustainable career, because you can't rest on your laurels. And that being said, this is why I think that ALDC provides amazing training, because there are a bunch of other dance studios out there that will provide amazing technical dance training. But Abby provides the wherewithal to work as a professional and last as a professional in show business. Like, she honestly teaches her kids that, and that's why there's so many lessons in the show that you can learn just by watching the show that stand true when it comes to Hollywood and show business. And Abby doesn't necessarily always lead by example, but what she says and what she teaches and instills in her children is great values to work in show business, for the most part. Now, the ones that slipped under the radar, what I mean by that is like people that were on Jeanette's team or Kathy's team or the Select team or like Cameron, people that were on the show and they got a little bit of spotlight, but they're not like huge international stars or anything. Those people are not going to be blinded by Hollywood, and they're probably going to continue to dance. They're going to continue to use their skills. They're going to work their booty off. And some of them just got like a little taste of what it's like to have a career in show business. And so now that's going to like ignite a flame under them, and they're going to work even harder. But for all of these kids that just kind of like had fame given to them on a silver platter growing up on the elite team, I don't think that most of them are going to continue to pursue a career as a professional dancer. And that's not a bad thing. That's just what they're choosing to do with their lives. My next unpopular opinion is that I think that Abby and Kathy actually got along, and that Kathy was only hired to be on Dance Moms in the first place for comic relief, and that's why she has to bring in all these other dancers from other teams, because she can't actually train dancers to compete with Abby. She doesn't have dancers that can compete with Abby. She was brought onto the team because she knew Abby and because she could poke fun. And so I think that they literally hired her and were like, okay, what we need you to do is annoy the crap out of this lady. And she was like, okay, I can do that. And so she did that enough, and I think that it crossed the line with Abby, and to Abby, she started taking it like super seriously and personally, because it was affecting her and her brand and her reputation and everything that she cares about on national television, so it became personal with Abby and now she hates Kathy. But I think that before the show that they were actually legitimately friends and that Kathy was just hired onto the show for comic relief. My next unpopular opinion, and I would like to go on record to say this, is that I think that Kathy Nesbitt Stein is a baby stealing goblin. And she stole Vivienne right out of somebody's cradle. I mean, what? Okay. My next unpopular opinion is that I think that the girls should have aged out when they're no longer a true junior. Because after the kids reach junior, they're not getting enough training to compete with teens. And Abby has said it before, she coaches juniors. Abby is great at coaching juniors, and the training to coach a junior and to coach a teen is totally different. With juniors, you need to be so picky and so precise about technique. The reason why little kids have routines and there's so many technical dance steps and the choreography isn't brand new and interesting is because you need to teach the kids how to do all of these steps, and they need to have the repetition and the muscle memory to learn all these steps. And with teens, you don't need to do that. They already know their dance technique, or at least they should, and so you can give them intricate choreography, and you need to focus more on the emotional representation, the acting, how they're going to portray their character, working on lifts. The training for juniors and minis and for teens is so totally different, and they just weren't getting the training to compete with actual teens on this show. And I find that Abby's technique when it comes to competition is to try and keep kids on a junior elite team or a mini team as long as possible by putting in kids that are so young on the other end of the spectrum so that she can have older advanced dancers on the team. But yeah, I think that all of the girls should age out when they're juniors before Abby has a chance to tarnish their reputations as teens or seniors, but also because as a teen, just let them go work professionally. Like, teens work professionally as dancers, so they can go work and have their dance career after they've been on the show up until junior. And Abby has said herself she is a junior elite coach. So my next unpopular opinion is that I think that Nia gets so much criticism on the internet for being the sloppy dancer on the team, but I think that she was the only dancer that was making consistent improvements right up until the very end of season 7 when the show finished filming. If you go and look at season 7 Nationals, Nia's performance, I think that was the best that she ever danced, and there was a strength to her after she started working with Cheryl Burke that I was like, damn, girl, better work. So I think that she was literally consistently making improvements in her technique right up until the very end. I think that Kendall had some breakthroughs emotionally right at the very end, or even if it was just Cheryl Burke telling her to squint, but her performance value was great in the last couple episodes. My next unpopular opinion is that Kelly Hyland was the most immature person on the team, including all of the children. She stormed out and had more hissy fits and more you did this and blah 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 blah, and just acting like an immature child than anybody else on the entire show. Ooh. I think Kathy would give her a run for her money, though. My next unpopular opinion is that the fandom doesn't give a hoot about technique. There's lots of comments and lots of people will criticize the technique, and we all want to give our 2 cents and give our opinions about technique. But at the end of the day, we just want to see them dance. We just want to see them continue to dance in their careers. I feel like a big reason that a lot of the girls don't post more dance content, even Brooke and Paige after they left, is not just because they don't want to dance or have no passion for it. It's because of the criticism on the internet. Everybody wants to put in their 2 cents and everybody's going to criticize the dancing. But at the end of the day, you have to think of the fans. You have to think about the people that support you and the reason why you have a platform and the reason why you're famous in the first place. And we just want to see you dance. We don't care if your technique is perfect. And that's coming from a dance coach. I just want to see y'all dance. I don't care if you're perfect. Just dance. Just dance, gonna be okay. Ba-da-do, just dance, not everything. Da-do, just dance, gonna be okay. Just dance, just dance. My next unpopular opinion is that I think that in general, every single dancer on this team is underrated, because can we have a shout out to every single kid that has come on this team, especially the ones that were new to join the team later, knowing that they were walking into a lion's den, knowing that they're going to be performing on national television for a reality show at 7, 8, 9 years old, 6 years old. Shout out to all of those kids. And to everybody that wants to judge all of the junior elites and be like, they're not as good of dancers as such, and this person is better, and this working professional dancer is better. They only had 2 days to perform these solos and everything that they performed. If you gave these girls months to perform a solo or months to rehearse for a number on Broadway, they're going to kill it. It's going to be amazing. But give them 2 days, and yeah, they might not be feeling the music emotionally and being able to hit every single accent, because that's just not realistic. My next very harsh, unpopular opinion is that Tia had no place on this team. Why are you there? She was not better than Mackenzie. She was not better than any other performer on the team in any way. Like, she wasn't a better performer than Mackenzie, and she wasn't better than Mackenzie technically, so who is she there to challenge? My next unpopular opinion is that I think that Peyton from the mini team was extremely underrated. She was made out on the show to be like the sloppy, weak link of the mini team. But that's Abby's fault. She's the one trying to disguise juniors as minis. Like, half of the kids on that mini team were actually juniors and should be performing with juniors, with kids their own age, and being challenged. But because it's Abby and it's show business and she wants to win, she's going to put dancers like Ariana in a mini team because they are small, and she's going to put them up against a 6-year-old like Peyton, and then make out Peyton to be the sloppy weak. Like, what kind of 6-year-old do you know that can do the insane gymnastics tricks that Peyton can do? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch her trash solo and you'll be like, okay, I get it, okay. My next unpopular opinion is that Abby is actually amazing at finding the it factor. I feel like people argue that her dancers are not the best, but overall, for show business, Abby definitely finds the it factor. And to me, what the it factor is being an empath, having like insane empathy. Because in order to go on stage and to make people feel something, you have to really understand people and how they feel and what is going to make people feel something. So in order to have the it factor, I feel like you need that empathic ability to really connect with people. And so I think that that gift, so many, if not all, of Abby's dancers have, except for arguably some of them really just don't have the it factor, and there's nothing that you can do to try and force charisma and empathy into a child or into anybody that just doesn't have it. Some people, no matter how great their technique is, will always perform like cardboard. Not going to put any names out there, but that's just the truth of the matter. But there are so many dancers that, whether their technique was amazing or not, that came on the show in the select team, in the junior elite team, whether they were there for an episode or not, so many had the it factor. Like, you can't watch Liliana come on stage and perform a solo without being like, oh wow, that was great. Like, you feel the joy. Mackenzie goes on stage, you feel her joy. Like, she smiles and you smile. You can't help it. She's the cutest little thing in the world. Maddie goes on stage, she can make you cry. Chloe goes on stage, you like feel your heart breaking. Nia goes on stage and you're like, wow, what an actress. Like, they all have that it factor, and it might be a different source of emotion and a different source of empathy that they are able to relate to in people, but they all have that it factor. Most of them. And that is it for my unpopular opinions on Dance Moms. Let me know and definitely chime in what your opinions were on all of these opinions. And if you have any unpopular opinions, definitely let me know in the comments below. But before we go, I am definitely going to react to 2 of my favorite solos from the Dance Moms girls that I think should have been on the show, but they were never aired. And that's Mackenzie's Dreamer solo, because everybody says that Mackenzie's not a lyrical dancer, and I'm gonna show you that she is. And the next solo is going to be Fragile Forest, and that is Kalani Hilliker's solo that performed, I think that it won the same day that Maddie performed All God's Creatures, but they didn't air it. So for that reason, I was like, wow, this is like one of the best solos ever. So I'm going to be reacting to both of those solos. But that being said, so if you want to catch those videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss the upload when I post. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And all that being said, as always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.